Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Emily. I tutor the Abecedarians and young apprentices in classical conversations. Today I'm going to talk about what we did for new grammar for cycle 2, week 4, and I'll also tell you what we did in review. So the first thing we do is geography because I have the maps already set out for the kids when they get in class. I made these little flip books for all the parents in the class for easy reference that has the maps up here. But this week's, to me, seemed a little bit off. This is a printable from Keppel on CC Connected. And the same one is in the sandbox for this week. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. To me, it seemed off when I compared it to the Foundations Guide map here. So just double check before you use this as gospel. So we went through all the rivers. We started with the Seine River, and I had the kids locate it on the map. They pointed to it and they said the name 3 times. Seine River, Seine River, Seine River. We did that for all the rivers. We kind of went in order on the map, like Seine, Rhine. We stayed in this area, and then we did Volga for the last one. And then after I had them say it 3 times, I got out some little figurines I got from Dollar Tree. These are, it's like a 5-pack, and there's different pirate figures in here. So let me show you what the pack looked like in case you want to go buy them. They also had superhero ones, but in case you can't find them at Dollar Tree, I'm also going to link some options that I found on Amazon for you. Another idea is to use pirate rubber duckies. So what we did was we took our pirates, we placed them on the river, and they were going down the river to see if there are any towns that they could pillage and steal gold from. So as they were going down the river, we would sing, "Row, row, row your boat gently down the Seine River." And we would do that for all the different rivers. But as soon as we went all the way down the river, then the townspeople would chase us out. And as we rushed out of the town in our boats, we would say, "Seine River, Seine River, Seine River." So that way we got it in 7 times. And on the very last river, the Volga, the kids really wanted their pirates to get gold. So on the Volga River, they went into town, they pillaged, they got their gold, and they left. And the townspeople did not have a heads up on that one. So that was fun. They enjoyed that. They even were playing the pirate game during review later in the afternoon. So next we did timeline. I switched up timeline a little bit this week. We do snack during timeline since the kids are so little and they're usually hungry by then. So as they're eating snack, I'll show each timeline card, I'll say the name on it, and then they'll repeat it after me. And then after they say the name, I put it up on the board and I put it in order. But this week what we did was I put up this card on the board, and then I put up this card, and when I put it up on the board, we said this card, and then we said this one. And we did that for all the cards, so by the end we had said this one 7 times. And then I played the song and pointed to each card as they came up in the timeline song. We were running a little bit behind on time today, so I did skip. We didn't do everything 7 times necessarily. After timeline, we did English. So first, I said the words and had the kids repeat them after me, just to make sure they knew what we were saying. So we're doing the nominative pronouns. So I said the words, they repeated after me, and then I taught them the song, which we did it to the tune of the chicken dance song. And I can link, I got a version of it from CC Connected, but there's also a user here on YouTube that does a version that goes even longer than the one that's on CC Connected, so I will put both of those in the description. but it goes like this. Nominative pronouns, I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. And it was kind of fast, so I slowed it down and the kids were able to sing it and clap along at the end. And for the last 2 times we sang it, we got up out of our chairs and marched around in a circle as we sang it. So this one is good because we're going to incorporate like the future weeks into the song, so they all go together. For history, we were doing the Magna Carta, so I brought in the timeline card that was referenced in the Foundations Guide. This is number 79, England's Magna Carta, and this was also good. I was able to point out to the kids this cross here on King John's arm. It's like the cross that we did last week for the Crusades, so they were able to get a visual on that. So I would say some of the words and I would say some of the words of the sentence and also teach them hand motions, and then they would repeat after me and do the hand motion. So for English, we did this like a teacup with our pinky out. English. Signed, we did this, or you could just do this in the air, signed. Limiting the king's power, we put our arm all the way out, limiting the king's power, and we put our arm down to our side. So this is like the king's power being limited, if that makes sense. And then we did England's King Edward III. So we put our crown on, and then we put our hands on our hips, and we looked around like this, like we were kings. King Edward III claimed to be king of, and then we did this for France, which is the ASL sign for France, King of France. And it's also, I liked this because it reminded me of the teacup. So we did that for France, and we did this for 100 Years' War. I think this is war in ASL. And 1337. That's what we did for the hand motions. We went through the song, we played it through 2 times, so really we listened to the memory work 4 times, and we did the hand motions to that. And then we listened to the song through 1 more time as the kids signed their name on this Magna Carta document I made. I posted this in the tutors group, and it's also on CC Connected, so I'll put a link of the one in CC Connected in the description. So what I did was I printed this off, and I ripped the sides, and then I crumpled it up and flattened it back out. So it did take some of the kids a really long time to write their names. Some were being perfectionist about it, so I had to tell them they weren't allowed to erase it. They could just write their name and move on, and if they didn't know how to write their names, they could just put an X. But everybody was able to write their name, so that was good and fun. And then for math, I got these printables from CC Connected. I printed a 7 on one side and an 8 on the other. This is for skip counting. So we brought our pirates back out, and as I said the numbers, the kids repeated after me, and we moved them on the numbers on here. So I said 7, they said 7, I said 14, they said 14, all the way around. And then then we played London Bridge while we played the song 3 times. So me and one of the other moms, we had our hands up against each other like this, and the kids came around under, just in case you don't know how to play London Bridge. The kids came around under our archway, and then when the song finished, we brought our arms down and caught whoever was under us when we finished the song. So we did that 3 times. That's a huge hit. The kids love that. They asked to do it again and again. So it's a crowd pleaser for this age. So then we did the 8s. And again, we used the handout with the pirates to go through the numbers and just say them. And then we played the song. The first time through we played it, we got up out of our seats and we were horses galloping around the room. So we had our hands like this and we were galloping around the room. And then for the last time I played the song, we got out our lasso and pretended like our lasso was like a figure 8 and sang the song going around doing that. For science, this is what we did for producer. Well, first again, I said the words and the kids repeated after me just to make sure they knew what we were saying. Then for producer, we did this for like a seed going into a tree. For consumer, we did somebody eating that tree. And for decomposer, we fell on the ground and laid down. And the kids love that too. But you have to be careful that they don't hit each other or like hit their heads when they're standing up if they fall under the table. Oh, and I had another idea for that, which we didn't do. I'm just seeing on my notes. We ran out of time, but the other idea was that all the kids linked arms in a circle and walked around in a circle while we listened to the music to make a chain. And the last thing we did was Latin, which was the same as last week. But again, I had the kids repeat all the endings after me. I reminded them of what does it mean when I hand you a bomb. When there's a bomb, nothing is perfect. So we're talking about imperfect tense. And I have this printable from CC Connected that I showed them to remind them of that. And look what I got this week. Dropped it. My son got this for his birthday from like a little Mario kit. So this is like the exact same bomb. How cool is that? So I will put that on in the description as well. I'll try and find the kit that this came in, the Mario kit, but honestly, it's not worth it to buy it just for this, but it was fun. And I'm glad that we had it. So we used this for hot potato. So we played the song, the kids passed the bomb around, and if they had the bomb in their hand when the song ended, they had to make a funny face. And on the third time we did the song, because the kids were having a really good time with it, and some of them were like holding it and not passing it because they wanted to make the face. So for the last one, when the song ended, I said, boom, and they all made a funny face. That was it for our new grammar. For review, we got out our maps and we reviewed the rivers from today. I gave each of the kids one piece of the Smartie, a Smartie, to move around on the rivers, and after their Smarties were well traveled, then they could eat them after they went through all the rivers. And let's see, what else do we do? Oh yes. We built crystal castles. So every time the kids get an answer right in review, they get a cup and they can add it to a castle to build it up. So I put like 4 down on the table. I do one on each side of the table, so there's like 2 teams, but we're not competitive about it. And then I do 1 week's worth of review, and as the kids get the answers right, they get a cup. And for math, we sing through the skip counting, so each kid gets a cup for that one, because I really don't expect them to remember all of that, and if they get one number right, they get a cup. So after we go through the full 1 week's review and they've built up their castles, then we knock them down. And then we do another week's worth of review and do the same thing. We did have one kid get hit on accident when one of the kids got really excited and like knocked it down. So just be careful with that. I kind of adjusted how I was doing things. So at the end of the memory work, I said, okay, everybody line up at the edge of the table. Now it's almost time to knock down our castles, but we're not going to do it yet. Just make sure that you don't hit anybody when you do it. Okay, knock down the castle. And then they did it, and they were all able to knock it down at the same time, because some people were getting upset if they weren't able to get to the end of the table in time. these are all just details I'm throwing out there to help y'all if you want to try this, because yeah, we learn as we go, right? So anyway, I hope that was helpful to you. I also wanted to say that I do make short videos with all this memory work on there. If you just want to look for one thing, you can go on my channel and look for that stuff too. But it's been a pleasure sharing this with you guys, and thank you for your encouraging comments. And I'm so glad that this is helping some of you. So I hope you have a good week 4, and I will see you next week.